Hello, my name is Nicholas Enriquez. Today, I am here to talk about my paper, Ethical Issues Within Modern Medical Technology. Now, tech and medical tech, as the name suggests, have been linked since the dawn of time. For example, saws, while used to cut down trees or animals, have also been used to cut into bones for surgery. And as such, these two techs have developed with each other, such as the advent of machines, resulting in new medical tech, or the advent of AI and computers resulting in, of course, new organization methods for regular tech, but also medical tech. This, however, hasn't always been beneficial. A lot of issues regular tech shares, medical tech shares. And this leads us to my main problem question. Basically, what I was assigned to research was how modern technology, especially with the advent of AI, has affected medical technology and its ethical research. Now, I had to do, unsurprisingly, some research on this topic, as there's a lot of different avenues I could go down. The one I decide to is bias. AI is a very developmental system. It learns off of us, it works off of us, it requires us. So, my thesis statement is that AI is biased due to having bad data into it or being taken in, and as such is creating a biased data set that for people who in the know aren't affected, but for the common man who may read this data, it will harm them. Now, of course, I didn't get this knowledge from anywhere. I had few sources. For the sake of time and the sake of my own reading sanity, I will not be reading out the full sources, but I have them listed here on the PowerPoint in order if you want to take a look at them. For example, we have the origins of racial and ethnic bias in pulmonary technology, which I took info from in order to get how oxygen levels were biased due to race. Promoting fairness in medical innovation is where my whole basis of my argument comes from, as this is where I learned about how, despite enactment and laws, there still has not been fairness within medical research, and it's very biased towards white Caucasian males. Going beyond the means, exploring bias from digital determinants talks more about how even simple tech has bias. As a scanner that scans the skin can't scan through darker skin better. Bias in, bias out, tackling bias in medical artificial intelligence brings another example with kidneys and how for any AI that looked at a black person who may need a kidney transplant, they gave them a longer wait time. Shedding light on healthcare algorithmic and artificial intelligence bias gives another example with woman's birth. They had an algorithm that told them if a woman after a C-section should have a natural birth. And more of the time, when the woman was of color, they told them to get in a C-section. And finally, the week 6 assignment of the Interactive Video Overview Ethics Part 1. This is where I learned about multiple types of ethics, specifically Donatandriel, where this goes into my pros and cons. Speaking of my pros and cons, what did I actually talk about in my paper? Starting off, we have my first point. Data the AI takes in is biased. As stated before, despite many acts to try to not have it be biased, a lot of data is taken in by the AI, which is very white-centric, very Caucasian-centric. Now, for a data analysis, this would be no problem. They could see, oh, this data is very biased. There is a lot of white guys in this. I shouldn't use this. This isn't very global. And that would be the end of it. AI doesn't see it that way. AI sees it and instead goes, oh, this is data. Let me take it in. And it just takes in the data. And it doesn't realize that, hey, this data isn't good. This data isn't helping anyone. And as such, it just starts taking in this data. And well, at first that's like, okay, that's not great. The AI is accidentally biased. As long as it's not giving out that data, it should be fine. This goes into my second point where the AI gives out this data. The AI, in multiple cases, as I've stated previously, gives out this data as fact. And people who don't realize this because they don't have the knowledge go, okay, and they take it as fact. For example, the kidney example, or the C-section example, or even the oxygen level example. All of these are formed within racial bias. And even if not intentionally, we are creating a racist AI. Now, my third point goes into the global perspective, so I'm going to skip that for now and go to my defense of why of this AI, which is that the end justifies the means. That even if people get hurt, if in the long run it helps more people out, it's worth it. The issue is it? How many people are going to get harmed before we could say, hey, our AI actually works now? Are we really just going to let all these people get harmed or even die in some cases, like with the kidney example, just to say, hey, we fixed our AI now, we have no issues? And this leads to my final point, the global impact. Now, I'm taking this from a very US perspective, but not every country is the US. For example, Spain has a way better medical system than ours. And as such, their tech is more advanced. And then as such, they deal with these issues a lot more, especially because they are not a very white country. They have a lot of different races. So as such, each race is more profiled than before because the AI doesn't realize it. Or in a less advanced country, such as Guinea, they may not have as advanced medical tech, but as seen previously with the scanner, which is a very simple medical device they would have, it is still racially biased as it just sees the skin and can't read the correct levels of oxygen. In conclusion, modern tech, if not intentionally, is biased and needs to be addressed immediately. This bias will harm people, will harm our futures, and just generally create a worse living experience. We need to work together to stop bias within our AI, just like in our real life. Thank you.